All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Win Studio. This is the Business Matters podcast. I'm excited to have our guest today. Today we have Chase Hoople, who is the general manager. Is that the title?
That is my title.
All right,
yes.
General manager. I say master of all.
Sometimes it feels like a little bit more than general manager.
Yeah, I was going to say. So we're going to promote him during the podcast, but we're going to see how it goes. We're going to elevate that to VP or something. But Chase is here today to talk a little bit about some a neat thing going on, I think, in our community that ties to business, but it also ties to life lessons and sports in the area. But before we kind of dive into it, Chase, give us a little bit about who you are, and I wrote in my notes, like, don't get into, like, I was born in, but give us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Hopefully I do get up to VP at the end of this. So I'm originally from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. I grew up here, played hockey, played baseball, played soccer when I was really little, played golf as well. So when I came to high school, I had to make a decision of whether I was going to play baseball or golf. Turns out I was a pretty good golfer, and people pushed me to pursue that. So I ended up playing hockey and golf in high school, which then led me to my college days where I played golf at UW Superior for 2 years and then at Stout for 2 years as well. Along the way, when I transferred to Stout, I got into coaching. So I ended up coaching at Chi High, which kind of led me to the seat I'm in today as the GM at Valley Sports Academy. Okay, and we're going to talk about Valley Sports Academy. I did a little background on Chase and just getting to know him over the spring here, but your golf coach at Stout stated that Chase has a great maturity about him and that he has leadership qualities. So I think you're in the right role, right? You're definitely embracing the role, and there's been a lot going on. So I'm going to ask you the first question point blank. So with VSA, so that's Valley Sports Academy, for those of you that don't know, it's a 116,000 square foot facility that's up on Highway 53 as you transition from Eau Claire into Halley into Chippewa. On the right side of the road heading north, and you'll see it. It looks like a nice big new facility. You can't miss it. So what's the why of VSA? How did it all come about? So the why of VSA is just to give opportunity to athletes in our area. So you're asking me its birth and the how and the why, so I'll give you kind of the full rundown. So our owner, Brian Seibert, who owns Huff Cut Concrete, Lake Wissota Golf and Events, Stein Brothers Steel, he was driving his boys to Hudson in the summer for hockey training every year. So I believe he was taking them there roughly 3 to 4 times a week. So you're talking about a lot of time in the seat, right? And it got to the point where he just kind of decided, why isn't there anything like this in our area? Why is it that our athletes have to travel so far? And that was just for hockey. And he started to notice that kids are leaving for baseball, kids are leaving for softball, kids are leaving for soccer. So he just kind of decided, I'm going to build something that can help retain our athletes here. And not only is it going to retain our athletes here, it's going to help grow everything, including business, in the Chippewa Valley. So that's kind of how VSA got started. Okay. It just started because at the end of the day, Brian was sick of sitting in the seat and saw opportunity. And Brian's very big on giving back to the community. And I think that's why him and I get along so well, because all I want to do is give back to this area. This area has given me so much. So to give athletes opportunities that I didn't have, because it was the same thing when I was growing up. If I wanted hockey training, where I was going to the cities, which is a lot of time in the car. And for some kids, they just don't have that opportunity. So now the fact that they have a 116,000 square foot sports training facility with everything you could ever imagine in it. I mean, we have a full-size Major League infield, indoors, under roof. The place is amazing. So that's kind of the why of VSA. I hope that gives you a good rundown.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just, where my mind goes is, so I understand the pull to the cities because, it's a metropolis area. It's got a lot of great amenities as far as like training. And I even think of just even musicians or even athletes or even business, but this was genius because gas is like $4.50 a gallon now. So driving between here and the cities, now all they have to do is just drive up to Halley. And I don't know if Brian knew if that was coming or what, but that's pretty neat. So I think of as a parent and as a parent who had kids that played sports. Now both my kids played tennis, and then coaching for a long time. I think of the cost of it too. I mean, I think of the cost of it and going over to the cities, and we don't want to give the cities our bucks. We want to keep it local. So this is it just fills a great gap for what's been going on in our area. And we have some really good, we have a great baseball tradition in Eau Claire. We actually have a really good hockey tradition in Eau Claire.
Yeah, if you think about it, Eau Claire Memorial went to state for how many years running? Won it a couple times. Chip has been down there. Eau Claire North's been down there.
Yeah, it's
all the
cool.
Sports in the area are there's talent here. It's time we give that talent an opportunity to just stay in the area where they don't have to disperse.
Okay. That's awesome. So it is a multi-sport training facility, as Chase said. So it's hockey, soccer, baseball, and softball.
And then we're also going to be we're trying to introduce lacrosse into the area as well. So we're gonna start rolling the red carpet out on that here soon.
Nice. Yeah, that's a sport that's really grown over the last, in this area. It's been big out east, maybe a little bit out west, but this area it's really grown. So the overall philosophical vision is what I wrote, but I think that's really too intense. It's overall philosophy. You kind of touched on it. It's really to give opportunities to athletes that want to train and want to excel and get better at what they do in their sport.
So the overall vision and philosophical vision is to give opportunities to athletes who want it and who want to reach their next level. The reason we say their next level is elite gets thrown around a lot in youth sports, and I think it's kind of ridiculous. I even catch myself using that a little bit. But we're here for any athlete that just wants to work hard. That's my favorite thing is talking to all of our directors, and they all say the same thing. If a kid's willing to come in here and work, I don't care if they can do everything to 2 years ahead of their age, or if they can barely put one foot in front of the other. If they're going to come in here with a great attitude and just be willing to work, we're going to help them. So the overall vision of VSA is just provide opportunity to athletes of all skill levels.
Nice. I love that. So how it relates to the community. So this is Business Matters, right? And we're a chamber of commerce, and we advocate business. We're the advocates. That's our mission. What I see when, and some others that kind of grasp this concept, is when the idea is born, okay, Brian hauling his kids back and forth to Hudson has this, we could be doing this here. How it relates to business is it employs people, right? You're the GM, and you hired directors for each of these categories, a few of whom I have met. I think I'll just use Jonathan Garcia as an example. He moved here from where?
So Jack and Jonathan moved here from Utah.
Yeah.
And David Drafton's coming from Virginia.
There you
so
go.
is Emmanuel, one of our soccer coaches. So we're bringing in a lot of outside talent.
Yeah, so that's my point. So the point is that for those of you listening, it's like, how does this relate to business? This is how it relates to business. We're bringing people from out of state that obviously visited, really liked what they saw in the area, love what you're doing as far as philosophy and the direction, and that's creating jobs. You're also going to have part-time jobs. You're going to have people at your facility that, people need to clean it. People need to monitor it. People need to be there to do whatever. So this is growth. This is what business community does. Regardless of what the product is or the end result is, it still ties to growth in our region in the Chippewa Valley. So that's so great. So in the chamber world, we call that a connector. So what you're doing is you're bringing in people, you're connecting them to the community, and you're doing it where both with business and sports. And we all know sports, whether you're a sports person or not, it's popular for youth and adults. And it teaches the kids that come through the program and the adults that do, success and failure and all the life skills. And that's really neat. Where do you think, what does this look like in 5 years? Have you had that kind of discussion, vision? Maybe not, but what do you, Chase, see in 5 years from now?
Yeah, so what I see in 5 years is VSA kind of building a model for sports across the world. Now maybe that's a little too extreme, but that's my goal, is just for something for people to look up to a little bit. And one thing I kind of missed on the vision, it's growing young adults is something we're very big on, which you just kind of touched on. Sports is a great way to teach core life values, and that's what we're trying to do right now. A good example of that, our Bantam 1 group got on the ice late today, and Jack Skilly decided to bag skate him for the first couple minutes of a skills session.
Okay.
That's a life value right there. You have to show up on time to work, right?
Yep.
And if you don't, there's a good chance the boss is going to be breathing down your neck. Not only are we trying to just develop on the skills side of things for all of our sports, but we're trying to grow young adults, because at the end of the day, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but not very small percentage of kids are going to go play college, maybe play high school. Very small percent are going to go play in the pros. So it's what comes after that, right? And what comes after that is you go into the real world, and that's what we're trying to prep kids for. Now, don't get me wrong. The 5-year vision is for our training and development models to be known across the world and the nation.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I see us, is just creating a sports mecca, is what I would say.
That's awesome. So I just picked 5 years. I kind of contemplated on this question. I'm like, should I say 2 years or 3 years? I'm like, let's go out a little bit, because as we all know, these types of things, they organically have to happen, and they organically have to grow. But I believe it when you say it. I mean, if you ever have a chance to go up to see the facility, I'm sure you're more than happy to show people what's going on up there. I encourage that our community, if you can, get up there to see it, because it's really, really neat. We have to tie it back again to a little bit of business and why that matters. What I really saw, which was kind of neat, is you also are dealing with families of all walks of life. This isn't like because let's face it, and maybe this isn't a thing anymore, and maybe I'm just an old boiled owl. That's what my friend called me once. Is you have families that usually hockey and golf are kind of resonated with, discretionary income, and it's for quote unquote rich people or whatever. What being involved a little bit this spring out there, I didn't see that. I saw that families that just have a genuine interest in their child becoming a better person, and getting better at what they do in their sport. But all trades, all walks of life, construction families, people that work in construction, people that are bankers, doctors, retail, the trades, whatever. That was really neat for me to see, because it is, the spring sports, the fall sports, the training facilities can sometimes have the stigma of, well, you got to have a lot of money to do it. I didn't get that sense there. I got a really good sense of, our kid loves to do this. We're going to make it happen financially no matter what it takes. I would do the same dang thing for my kids, I don't know if I don't have a lot of wealth, right? But I did, I made it happen with my kids in tennis. Now, you wouldn't think tennis is that expensive, but have you ever priced a good racket and a good pair of shoes?
I was at Walmart, and I saw them at Walmart, and I was like, these are a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
So,
and how about having 2 rackets and getting them? So anyway, the point is that I think it knocks down boundaries of financial perceptions, which is really, really, really cool. And I love the life lessons that you mentioned, because that is huge. People may not think about this in context. These are kids, and then you also have offerings for adults that we talked a little bit off air before. You're going to have some chances for adults to come in and hone their skills, or just to have some fun and play sports. But these kids, there's some emerging leaders in there. If you have a team of 17 kids on a team, 2, 3, 4 of them are going to be entrepreneurs. Two of them might be doctors. 3 of them might come up with the best dang invention, like ketchup. You just never know, right? Or Post-its. You don't know what you have when they're younger, but these life lessons of teaching them not only what's going on in their sport, but succeeding and failing. How to fail, how to succeed, how to be nice when you succeed. So Chase, tell me a little bit why business matters, and I put it in relation to VSA, but why does business matter to what you're doing and the philosophy of what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so I think business matters to what we're doing. It's going to help grow our community. So you look at VSA, and you talked earlier about how we're going to create jobs at VSA for people in the community. We're going to see the areas of Lake Hallie, Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls boom because of our facility and our state-of-the-art training facility, which is then going to create more jobs for more people. So I think just why business matters in relation to VSA just comes to the impact that's going to follow with it and the growth in our communities.
Is there anything else that you would like to bring up about Valley Sports Academy, or anything that you'd like to share that our listeners would maybe be interested in?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you hit on something there is we have clientele from all walks of life, right?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs, doctors, construction workers. And something with that being said is there is a stigma when it comes to training facilities that you have to have a lot of money and they're going to be extremely expensive. The cool thing about VSA is we're a break-even company.
Okay.
No one's looking to make millions of dollars off this. We're just trying to do our best to pay the bills. And then whatever comes extra, we always say it goes back to the kids. Now, what capacity that is, maybe it's buying new technology for them. We got some pretty cool technology like our skating treadmill, the rapid shot.
That's pretty neat.
Whether it's getting more technology, investing more into our coaching staff to maybe bring in new coaches. So we're a break-even company. And with that being said, our prices, we're trying to do our best to make sure they're competitive, right? So I look at our hockey summer skills program. For 70 hours of training throughout 10 weeks, it came out to $15 an hour.
Wow, that's
and
great.
And we're talking you're training with Jack Skilly, who played 14 years of professional hockey, Jonathan Garcia, who's a 2-time Olympic speed skater, Emily Bauer, who played hockey at Eau Claire, you name it. You name kind of the status of our coaches, and you're getting that for $15 an hour.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and then not only that, you're working on our synthetic, you're working on our studio ice sheet, you're working on the skating treadmill, you're working in the rapid shot. So we're trying to do our best to make sure everything's economically priced for everyone as well.
Yeah, I think as a community, we appreciate that, and the parents certainly appreciate that. And I don't think a lot of people know that. So that's great to know because the quality is there. And it's just really neat you guys are doing it. I really do feel, I saw Hudson go through their Excel program way back, and then their athletics surged, And yes, they have the competition right over the border, good competition. But, man, when they started that little building right next door to their rink they just started to pretty much dominate a lot of the youth levels.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at VSA is, we built this amazing state-of-the-art sports training facility. And that's kind of the goal is the Chippewa Valley, some of the teams here, were already competitive.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So now it's just helping teams take that next step. Instead of just being competitive with the state of Wisconsin, how do we make that next step and get our teams from the Chippewa Valley to go continuously win state? Regis won state in baseball.
Yeah, I saw that.
How do we help them
That's cool.
go back to back?
Yeah.
Or how do we help Altoona get down there?
Right.
So that's kind of, and you talk about that 5-year plan, that's kind of what the 5-year plan is too. Help elevate the level of play in this area as well.
All right, well, listen, I think that you guys are on to a great thing. And it's, again, we're happy the Valley Sports Academy is obviously a chamber investor with Brian's businesses too, but it's just really a neat thing to have in our community. So I hope people listening to this understand and grasp the reality of how great it is and the quality that you mentioned. I was going to mention that. I'm glad you did, because there's some really neat things going on there. And we need to get the awareness out and let everybody know. Yeah, I think that's good. I think we've kind of hit everything. And anything you would like to add or say, or?
Yeah, the last one I gotta plug this. Follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as our website valleysports.academy for all offerings.
Okay, everybody go out and do that. And then, so again, Business Matters podcast from the Eau Claire Chamber. We are here at Win Studio at the Eau Claire Chamber on this very hot day. Speaking of social media, I saw you posted, come on in and play in 66 degrees?
Yeah, it was 66, and I think we had, I want to say 30 kids in the field house, and it went up to 67. So
wow.
But I mean, that's a little bit better than the 100 degrees it was outside. And we got it again tonight. So
okay, there you go. All right. Well, this has been Business Matters, again, from the Win Studios at the Eau Claire Chamber of Commerce. My guest is Chase Hoople from Valley Sports Academy. You have to check them out on all social media platforms. And that's a wrap today on the show. Thanks for listening.